Hi guys, it's January 14th, and there have already been so many lovely, wonderful things this month that I thought I'd make a little collage and share them with you. Most of the clips in this upcoming little kind of slideshow speak for themselves, I think, except for maybe the books. Book covers aren't actually all that eloquent, so I'm going to add a little currently reading section in the second half of the video. If you want to jump right to that section, I will put the timestamp in the description box below. So without further ado, here's my little January slideshow. Welcome back to my warm and cozy living room, where I'm going to talk to you about 3 books that I'm currently reading that I feel might become real highlights of my reading year. I'm really enjoying them. The first one is actually a German one, a German non-fiction book that is, however, known and famous far beyond Germany. It is The Hidden Life of Trees by Peter Wohlleben. This is exactly what the title suggests. It is a book about the life of trees, the stages that trees go through in the course of their lives, and the outside forces that they are exposed to and subjected to, and that are mostly hidden from view. So a lot of the facts in this book, I think, are really mind-boggling to laymen, people who aren't working in research or somehow as forest rangers, as Peter Wohlleben, the author, used to himself. He is actually a forest ranger, not a biologist. The only issue I have so far with this book is Peter Wohlleben's extremely unscientific way to talk about things. That is sometimes grating, but sometimes it really obscures the facts as well. Like when he talks about how trees think about doing certain things or remember to do certain things, and you wonder, well, what does that actually mean? In some cases, however, he comes back to that and to these expressions that he used and talks about them some more, clarifies them, or explains why he can't clarify them. So that's good. So maybe there are going to be some more of these instances in the second half of the book, and then I'll eat my words and I won't mind the unscientific writing style all that much anymore. But more about this one in my January wrap-up. The second book is A Betrayal in Winter by Daniel Abraham, which is part 2 of the long prize Quartet, of which this book is a bind-up of the first 2 volumes. So A Betrayal in Winter is the second half of this bind-up. I can't really say much about this one other than that it features some of the same main characters as the first book, but is set 16 years further on. And the issue that was in the center of book 1 seems to take a back seat in book 2. I'm about a third of the way, at least a third of the way through, and so far the thread hasn't been taken up. However, I guess this was to be expected in a series of books, a quartet of books that is called The Long Prize. It is to be expected that it is going to make us wait until we can reap the fruit of the seeds that were planted in book 1, which is kind of an ironic way of putting it. If you know, you know. I'm still very happy with the way that this book, just like book 1, takes its time with characters and setting. And even though this is a very short book, it's under 300 pages long, which is really short for an epic fantasy novel which is set in a secondary world. But still, because Daniel Abraham takes his time and his settings are so filled with details, it still feels epic and sprawling. So we get a lot out of it in just barely 300 pages. And my third book, which I have only just started, is Notes from the Burning Age by Claire North. This is a post-apocalyptic utopia or dystopia. I'm not quite sure which one it is yet, but in any case, it is written for adults. It's not a YA novel. So when this book is set, the Anthropocene is over. The apocalypse has happened in the form of some kind of cataclysmic climate event, or maybe a bundle of them. But humanity has picked itself up again, and people have quite an advanced but clean technology, yet at the same time they live very simple lives, kind of close to nature, if you like. That is a bit of a stretch of the imagination. However, I've read 3 chapters now, and at this point it isn't really clear how exactly society works if everybody lives the way that the people we have just met in these 3 chapters live, and how society is structured, and how many people there are in the world at all. So there's a lot we still don't know, and I also have no idea where this book might be going based on these first 3 chapters. What I do know, though, is that Claire North also, same as Daniel Abraham, really takes her time developing her characters and the world that they live in, and takes her time to situate the characters in the world. And already in these first 3 chapters, there have been some sentences that I found so lovely, because they expressed some sentences that I thought were extremely relatable, just some observations about life and the world and our way of looking at the world. No big things, just ways of relating to the world that are deceptively simple, but still things that you don't find expressed in books every day. So it is all the nicer when you do. I'm really looking forward to really sinking my teeth into this one once I've finished A Betrayal in Winter. This is going to be my next main book that I'm reading. However, I'm also already looking ahead into the far future, at a time when I will have finished Notes from the Burning Age and will get to pick up my next main book that I'm reading at night or some other time when I'm cozy at home. And this is so exciting. I'm so excited about this. It is Blood of Tyrants, the seventh, no, the eighth Temeraire novel by Naomi Novik. I'm going to give this a second try. I loved the Temeraire series, one of my favorite fantasy series ever. But I got stuck in this one, I don't know, just a few pages in, and I abruptly lost all interest in the series when I read this one. Although books 6 and 7, so the direct predecessors of this one, are among my favorite, or are my favorites of the series, and I still just completely lost interest in the first pages of book 8. But I have decided that I'm going to give this another try. I decided this a couple of days ago when I heard another booktuber talk about how she was rereading the series. But actually, it had been at the back of my mind for a couple of months now, ever since I visited a big Turner exhibition, an exhibition of Turner paintings back in November. Although The Fighting Temeraire was not part of that exhibition, but still, just because it was Turner, it made me think of The Fighting Temeraire, the ship after which the dragon Temeraire is named in this series, which is historical fantasy set during the Napoleonic Wars, where the dragons of the French and the English are actually their air force and are fighting in the war as aircraft, living aircraft. I really don't know why I didn't feel a burning need to know how the series wrapped up back when books 8 and 9 were first published, but I'm going to make up for this now. This is my big resolution for the end of January, or maybe the beginning of February. I'm going to get closure with the Temeraire series. So these are all the exciting books that I'm enjoying at the moment, and I hope you enjoyed this little glimpse into what's been going on in my life in the first half of January. I hope the new year 2024 is treating you well too, and I'll see you again very soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.